Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. We are not in LA today. We are over here at 85 South Studios with the special guest of the day. Van Lathan is in the building. You guys may know him as podcaster, Academy Award winning executive producer, but I like to acknowledge you as the man that stood up to Kanye West in the TMZ office.
Commissioner of the BBI.
Commissioner, and we're going to leave the commissioner of the BBI off. But Van, before we get into where you're at today, I want you to take me back to where you were when you were broke, what dish you're going to have cooked for us to eat today. So you can start with that.
So I get out of college around, I would say, 2003. 2003, I get out of college. And there's this like transitional period in my life. Because I was always interested in people's stories. And everybody's story seems so linear. Every story seems linear when you're at the end of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a moment that something happened for them. Everybody has a moment that they realize something. But when you're in the middle of it, you don't know. Mm-hmm. You don't know when it's going to happen for you. You don't know how it's going to happen for you. Certain people have more certainty than other people do, but all you can do is work and try. Yeah. And I get into this point, this weird, odd point to where I'm like, and we'll talk about Kanye West, but I'm like, nothing that I thought was going to happen or no way that I wanted to go is the way that I wanted to go.
So you're graduated. We're taking back to when you graduated college.
Right. And so I'm working at Best Buy. Mm-hmm. And this is the same time that the College Dropout has come out, around that same time, Kanye's first album. And what he's talking about. Great album. He's talking about disillusioned high school graduates who now have to realize that they're not going to conquer the world. Mm-hmm. That what they're going to do is enter into the American workforce.
Yeah, the rat race, right?
And they're going to be a part of something, and everything that they did is not as meaningful as they thought it was going to be. In a way, it's spiritually debilitating. And the song is the whole album is about breaking free of that, really. Yeah. It's about saying, hey, like, I dropped out, but I dropped out. I took a path that is
less admired,
but in a way frowned upon, right? Yeah. In order to be more alive. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not killing myself. And so I'm to the point to where I'm like having an existential crisis. I'm like, I'm killing myself. It's not working. And so many things happen within this 2-year period. My parents divorced. My mom leaves the house. And that was very transformative for me because, like, when a woman leaves a home, right away, everything gets less.
But wait, you were talking about after college, though. Were you living at home with your parents?
Sure.
Oh, you were during college?
Yeah. I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. I had gone away to school, and then I came back, and I went to Southern University because I wanted to be around all of my friends. So I was still living at home. The school was about 10 minutes away from where we lived.
Okay. So how old were you when your parents were like 22, 23?
22 or 23.
And so you actually got to see it.
I got to see it, right? Jeez. I got to see it as two people divorcing and not mommy and daddy divorcing. And I also got to see just
What do you mean they're not mommy and daddy divorcing?
It wasn't mommy and daddy divorcing. When you're 10 and your parents break up, you're 13, 14, mommy and daddy are divorcing. Mm-hmm. In my life, Crystal and Terry got a divorce because I had enough of a frame of mind or a frame of reference, should I say, for these people to know who they kind of really were at that point. Mm-hmm. So I knew the anger that my father had. I knew the paranoia that my mother had. Mm-hmm. I knew that these were two people that were on diverging spiritual growth journey, should I say, and that they were no longer compatible. Mm-hmm. And like what that means. Like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, you guys going to split up? Okay, who am I going to live with? That's not the concern for me. The concern for me is, do these people still get to live the version of their life that they want to live now that they're no longer together?
Okay.
And so when I saw that, my mom, I was actually happy for them that they had made the decision. I was happy for them that My mother, I thought, okay, this is a new life for her. She had felt beaten down by a lot of things emotionally. She had felt unsupported by a lot of things emotionally. And obviously with my father doing some of the things that he was doing, he must have been unhappy too. So maybe this is a new life for them. I'm young enough to think at that point that severing that type of relationship in some way could be a positive for those two people, as much as they loved each other and loved each other until my father passed away. But immediately she left the house, and it was two niggas living in the house that didn't know how to do shit. Like the house just became, it's just like, I remember.
Were you the youngest too or something?
Who?
Are you the youngest in your family? Because you said it was just the two of you.
Yeah, I was the youngest in the family. I was the only one still around. My sister had gone. My dad had other kids, but they were gone. But so it's just me and him living
Wait,
in the
your
house.
dad had other kids?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He had other kids, nigga. You know what I mean?
Well, don't glaze over it. Okay. So your mom was dealing with a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, it was. That's another reason why you're happy for her to go and have a chance at a life that is for her.
Yeah.
Right. And so me and him are there, and it's like she's your mom, but she's also like a genius in creating. She's a genius in keeping things running. You get taught this lesson of misogyny, and the lesson is that somebody leaves the house and they go make a whole bunch of money. Now, my mother worked too and made a lot of money, but somebody leaves the house and go makes a lot of money, and then they come back into a castle and everything that they touch inside the house turns to gold. But you don't realize that there's somebody who's keeping your life beautiful. There's someone whose attention to detail, somebody whose ability to multitask, somebody who looks out for things, somebody who, when something's broke, they go, okay, you got to go fix that. Somebody who, when something doesn't work, they go, okay, we got to get it working. And the moment that she left, it was the house crumbled. It fell apart. Like the turn on the stove, pop, pop. The electric pop. And I look at him and he looks at me and I'm like, right. She gets that fixed. That motherfucker popped till we got out of the house. We and him never fixed it, right? The washing machine broke, never got fixed.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like little stuff like that. Like my mother used to come out. This was a big, beautiful home on about 60 acres that we had. She would come out and she would spray paint, power wash the outside of the house, where everything, me and him were just too focused on the individual things that we were doing to care about all of that. The place was just less beautiful because the woman of the house had gone.
Wow.
And so during that whole time, I'm also broke. I'm also broke. I'm working at Best Buy. I'm treading water. I don't know what I want to do. And then Hurricane Katrina comes.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
And so when Hurricane Katrina comes, this is like a weird 2-year period of my life. Like everything changes. Like society crumbles. Everybody's strapped for cash because you've taken on so much more. You got relatives living with you that come down from down in the city. Everything's different. And now everyone's trying to stretch that dollar. You're eating different. You're feeling different. And it just doesn't feel like there's any abundance. It didn't feel like that in my life. And so that's when that was the point, honestly, from 2003 to 2005, that was the point where I figured out myself. I moved to LA in 2006.
Okay.
By the time I got to LA, I could fucking handle anything. I could handle anything. I had buried homeboys. I had put relatives in the ground. There was nothing. The world had showed me like some really ill shit. And so when I got out there and was dealing with LA, it was a piece of cake.
So you also navigated eating while broke. So what dish are you going to have us eat today?
Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
It's a staple.
The staple and the most simplistic and delicious meal. Did you have to add any tomato soup or anything, or you just did it the legendary classic?
Fuck all that. Butter, bread, cheese. Shout out to my Uncle David, rest in peace. Shout out to my Uncle Mark, rest in peace. These guys taught me the beauty of the grilled cheese. And you know where they learned it at?
Where?
Where you think?
They mama?
Nah, where you think they learned the grilled cheese at? These two uncles. What do you think?
Someone screamed.
Somebody say it.
Say it.
Jail.
Jail.
See, I can tell how you been. I can tell what kind of life you've been living.
Look.
They learned to grill cheese in jail. They were grilled cheese mechanics.
Okay.
They came back in here and they was like,
how'd y'all know it was jail?
Cause
what?
Cause we know, right? They was grilled cheese mechanics.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's judge your grilled cheese.
Oh, I haven't made it in a long time because a nigga is not broke no more.
Okay.
But let's
you know
see.
what? I've been doing this show for this is our third season we're taping right now. Yeah. And some of the dishes are so good on this show that I go home and I'll make it broke or not.
Broke or not, you gonna make it?
They're good.
Butter is very sensual. Look at butter. Watch this. Oh, daddy. Mm-hmm. You hear that? Look at the butter go. Oh my God. Butter is like delectable, right?
Oh yeah. I use butter in 90% of my cooking.
Really? What's that blood pressure like?
I don't know, but I'm really healthy. I'm really healthy.
Okay. Like what do you get a checkup?
First of all, I don't know if you could do a good grilled cheese. I'm watching the way you're making this grilled cheese and I'm concerned.
It's not gonna be good.
I'm concerned. I'm definitely concerned because I feel like you are gonna butcher this grilled cheese.
It's not gonna be good. I can already tell you it's not gonna be good. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, because these jailbirds, they definitely didn't teach you.
Jailbirds? Oh my God.
They didn't teach you the right way. How much cheese are you gonna put on this grilled cheese?
I'm gonna put a lot.
This is how you did it broke?
Yeah, man.
You put 3 pieces of cheese on your broke grilled cheese?
I don't know if you know this, but like I'm a big ass nigga.
Yeah, nah, bro. You're being judged, and right now this grilled cheese is looking like it's not going. We're gonna see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Can I ask you a question?
What
is this show to judge people, or is it to get inspired?
Well,
stories
I like
about
you know
lives?
What the first season and a half I was very nice with people's feelings.
Okay.
And then someone made tuna casserole.
They made a tuna casserole in this motherfucker?
It was terrible. Well, we tape in LA usually. So
I see.
85 did this whole thing for us. Shout outs to 85. Mm-hmm. They did the whole cooktop and build this whole kitchen. I'm in love with it. Now I'm going to have to come to Atlanta more.
You like Atlanta?
But yeah, I like it. It's cool. I haven't seen much out here yet.
Where do you travel to? Where do you go?
What you mean, where do I go?
Yeah, where do you be at?
I'll be at LA, New York.
LA, New York, just okay. Fashion
LA, New
week.
York.
Okay.
LA, New York. I'm from there, you know. Let's focus on your story.
For sure.
Okay, so you graduate, you move to LA.
Yeah.
And you graduate with what degree?
I have a political science and English degree.
Okay. And your goal in life before you left college was?
To be an attorney.
Okay, and then you got to LA to be?
In the movie game.
Okay, what happened in between those times to make you change your career?
I spoke to a lot of attorneys.
You found out they don't like their jobs?
What I found out, so my brother, Jabril, is one of the most brilliant people I've ever known. Mm-hmm. Super brilliant, like ridiculously smart, right? Smart in a way that's almost inaccessible. And he went to Morehouse here in Atlanta. And then he went to Stanford, one of the greatest law schools in the world. And he didn't have a specific love for the law, if you ask me. But he is just an incredibly successful person. And it didn't seem like to me like that was going to be a fulfilling life. What I like to do is commiserate, talk, create. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I like to go back and forth on all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But more than anything, I want to create things that make people think and discuss. And I don't think that was going to be something that was possible as an attorney.
Okay. Now, a little backstory. So did all your siblings graduate college?
No.
Okay. Are any of them similar to your path?
My sister's a poet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She's one of the greatest poets in the world.
Really?
I think so.
She made money on it?
No.
Okay.
She made no money on it.
Okay.
But she is ridiculously talented. And I'm inspired by her every single day because she creates no matter what the circumstance is.
Okay.
And that to me is more impressive than somebody who gets flown all over the world to create. She creates because she must create and not because it's incredibly lucrative for her to create.
Okay.
So it's in her.
It's in her.
And that makes me feel good.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
edges
you
are
get to
getting
LA. What's the next step?
I worked for a place called Capricorn Programs for a while.
What do you do there?
I produce a show called Cybernet. It's a video game show. So when I first get out to LA, I am playing video games for a living and then reporting on those video games on this show Cybernet and writing for the show.
Okay. And
Then something happens.
what happens?
Okay. That company goes belly up. Financial crisis. So when that company goes belly up, guess what I get to do?
Live on unemployment.
Hell yeah.
I love unemployment.
Yep. And I become one of the world's foremost pickup basketball players. Every gym in LA, you see me. 24-hour fitness, you see me.
Oh, you didn't try to hustle on top of the unemployment?
I definitely did. But the most thing that I did was just play ball and vibe and write. I wrote so much. So much stuff.
But how long were you on unemployment? A year? 6 months?
2?
You can be on unemployment 2 years?
You have to remember that at this time, it was the financial crisis, so they were extending benefits to meet people's
What
needs.
year is this? 2007? 2008?
2008?
Yeah, it had to have been 2008.
And then it's like going into 2010, basically.
Okay.
And let me tell you what happens. This is a true story. So I'm on unemployment. I'm doing my thing. I'm walking into the gym. LA Fitness Hollywood. Everybody there knows me. Okay, I'm walking into the gym. And as I'm walking into the gym, a lady outside the gym says, "Hey, you want to take place in this? You want to take part in this survey?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." She's like, "Take part in this survey, and we like what you say. We'll give you $500."
Oh, shit.
And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
Okay. So I do the whole thing. I do my whole little shtick. I'm on a little small camera that she has, and she goes, "We like you. We want you to come out to this place and do even more stuff, right? And take place in this gigantic, bigger survey where it's not a big deal. We're going to have you try all these products. And when you try all these products, we're just going to ask you what you think about them." I'm like, "Cool, no problem." All right. So I decided to go to this thing. Oh, we cheesing it up right now.
It actually looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
And so I go to this thing. It's in Van Nuys. You know where Van Nuys is. So I go in there and I'm into the little deal or whatever. And the guy goes, "Okay, this is what you're going to do. I want you to go in here, take a shower and use this shampoo." Because they're doing product testing. "Take a shower, use this shampoo. Right. When you get out of there, brush your teeth, use this toothbrush and this toothpaste." Cool. He's like, "Don't do this, don't do that stuff. We took those products off the list. And then when you come in here, we want you to shave with this razor." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not shaving my beard." He goes, "Yeah, well, you can just shave at the top and on the and right here and just tell us what you think about it." I'm like, "Cool, no problem." So after that, cool. I do all this stuff. I get into this little room. And inside this room, there's 2 other guys in the room. And they got towels on. And I'm looking around. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on here? What is this?" I try to weigh myself on the scale. Scale doesn't work. I'm looking in the room. The room looks like a gym, except I know that we're not in a gym. Like, what's going on? So I start using the razor, doing like this. And when I start using the razor, somebody jumps out with a camera and they say, "Hey, are you ready for the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide Challenge?" It's a commercial.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, "Oh shit." And so I'm using the thing, I'm doing the whole thing, I'm going back and forth with the guy, I'm having fun. After the thing is over, I walk in there and everybody's clapping like, "Hey, why? How are you doing? Oh, you did a great job. You're in a commercial, boom, boom, boom." So I don't make $500. I make $3,000.
Get the freak out. I would have been so hyped.
Because it's we're done, baby. Oh, special.
That's a really good looking grilled cheese.
Oh my God.
Look at that. The cheese is bubbling, guys.
Yeah, it's bubbling.
Over.
And there's a little butter there.
Now,
shout out to my uncle.
I just learned a trick in making grilled cheese.
What is it?
To stack a lot of cheese in the middle.
It needs a,
that looks crazy.
Cheese is actually a pretty staple ingredient to the grilled cheese.
I know, but I usually just put like 1 or 2. Yours is like, first of all, you did it really impressively.
I tell you why though. That's why you're healthy though. You said you were healthy before.
Look at the even colored color. I don't know if it's, you did a really impressive grilled cheese. Okay.
Yes, you just low and slow. Okay, so look. So I'm there and they go like, "Okay, so it's Saturday. So the $500 that you were promised, you get that. It's Saturday, so you get double the session fee on that plus like whatever. you get like a holding fee and all of that stuff. So I ended up making like $3,000 for this commercial. Let me tell you what kind of American I am. I come home and I'm doing my unemployment, and it asks if you made any money.
Please don't say you reported it.
Yep.
Why?
I put the money on there.
Why?
I don't know. I've seen niggas get the death penalty for less. So I put the money on there, right?
No.
I put the money on there, and this is what happens. They then readjust my unemployment quarterly.
You need friends like me.
Yeah.
I would have for sure told you not to do that.
So quarterly. So it goes from I go from getting $500 a week in unemployment to $75 a week in unemployment. So I go, okay, this is the deal. It's not, obviously they don't think a nigga can live off this. So I'm just gonna go up to the unemployment office. I'm gonna talk to these people. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up to the unemployment office. I'm gonna talk to these people. I'm gonna straighten this whole thing out. So I go up there to the unemployment office in Pasadena. I'll never forget the lady was like, baby, ain't nothing we can do. It's in the computer. I was like, I can't live on this, blah, blah, blah. It's in the computer. So I needed a job. I had to have a job.
Did you call the Gillette people back?
I didn't, but you know what the funny thing was? The Gillette, that commercial ended up like making me, that commercial ran.
Oh shit!
I didn't know anything about.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about being a commercial actor, so I would get a holding check every now and again, and then I started making money off the commercial. But that's later. I didn't know this. I came home, and when I came home, I was like, I have to find a job.
Yeah.
I pulled up entertainmentcareers.net. The first job was TMZ tour guide.
You were a tour guide?
Yep.
No way.
It was being a tour guide. TMZ was starting a tour, and the tour was like, you go around to different places and you show people different things that happened like on TMZ. Like we would show you where Josh Hartnett got diarrhea. We would show you where Michael Richards fucked up at the Laugh Factory. It's actually a pretty good tour. I was one of the first guides on the tour. I was the first guide on the tour. So I actually a little bit of pride in the fact that we were able to jump that off and make it a thing because it's still going right now.
It's still going, yeah.
Right. So I get in there and I do that. I apply. And
that's a brilliant concept now that I think about it.
It is.
Okay, go on.
Revolutionized the whole tour game. So I apply, and they're doing the tours like American Idol. They have all of these tour guides in there, and then every week they cut a guide. So I'm in there, and they have me coming in there, and I get the whole thing. I start with the TMZ tour. This goes through to about everything I'm talking about. I start with the TMZ tour, I think, April of 2010, maybe it might be 2011, whatever it is. I start with the TMZ tour then. By July, I started in March. By July, I'm on TV every day.
Within a couple months.
Yeah. Harvey came and took the tour. I was up there doing my thing, and I told a joke, and he liked the joke so much that he brought me in and put me into the
newsroom.
Into the newsroom, yep.
Okay, so then you get this newsroom opportunity. Your pay goes up, benefits. What are we looking at?
So this is the way it was working. I was making money because I was getting tips on the tour.
Okay.
So I was probably making $1,500 a week straight cash off the tips on the tour.
Shoot.
I was killing these motherfucking white people.
Okay.
I was killing them. I was fucking killing them. And then you would come in and you would have like people from, there was tourists, like they were from Australia, they were from Canada. There was a thing that we do on the tour to where if you see a celebrity on the tour, you stop the bus, you get off, you shoot the celebrity.
Okay.
And when you're driving around in LA at certain times, if you know where to go, it's impossible not to see famous people. Like if you were coming to LA and you were hanging out with me and I was like, hey, you want to sit around and watch celebrities all day? There are 3 or 4 places I could tell you where it's going to happen.
Okay.
And so we would see them. And I'm a good spotter. I would spot celebrities and we would see them and the people would go crazy. We all kinds of people, fucking Lady Gaga, Leonardo DiCaprio, David Beckham, and just the other niggas that be around. Just niggas that be around.
You're hilarious.
And you would just, you know the people I'm talking about in LA. They be around. You see them all the time. It's like, hey, weren't you in? Yeah, like you see them. The funniest thing was BET Awards weekend, right? Because there would be all kinds of celebrities that I would recognize that the bus wouldn't know who they were. And so the bus wouldn't believe me that these people were famous. I'm like, yo, I don't know if you know this motherfucker had 2 number 1s. We ain't never heard of him before. I was like, I don't know. He signed to Ludacris and them, that's like actually, I don't want to say the guy's name, but like that's actually, that guy is a huge singer. Like you guys should probably care about him. We don't know him. Fuck him. Keep going.
No.
But I mean, so anyway, so you know, I'm making good money because I'm making my tips off the tour. I'm doing 3 different jobs for TMZ. I'm also on the camera on the street with my camera.
Okay.
I'm on the street with my camera. I'm doing the tour.
Oh, you're doing the tour and the newsroom and all this on
the tour and the newsroom. They gave me as many jobs as they could, and I delivered.
Did you join as they were like a startup, or were they like startup level?
So they were. So this was 2000. So they started in like 2005.
Okay.
I got there 5 years later.
Okay, that's considered still startup.
Probably. Yeah. So they were. The newsroom cast was established though, so I had to break in.
Okay.
And I always give Harvey credit for this. He the same joke, because it's very hard to break into that room, because when you're in the room and you're everybody's fighting for airtime. The camera's always on Harvey, but as far as you gotta say something. You gotta do something to stand out.
Yeah.
So you start to maximize the moments that you have. And if you're on, that means somebody else isn't. So once it's 10 motherfuckers in there, they're not looking for the 11th motherfucker to come in.
Yeah.
But Harvey knew that I had that joke that I could tell on the
I want to hear the joke.
It kind of doesn't work without us being on the tour, but so we passed by the Hustler store on the tour.
Okay.
And so it would stop on the Hustler tour, and this was a different time to tell this joke. Okay. So we would stop, and I would have the bus stop right by the Hustler store. And you know who Larry Flint is, right? Larry Flint started Hustler. And I would be like, this guy's Hustler store, Larry Flint started Hustler. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Larry Flint is one of the most important men in the history of civil rights. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, you guys might not know this, but Larry Flint is in a wheelchair. He was shot. One of the reasons why Larry Flint was shot was because there were people that were upset that he was doing interracial photo spreads in Hustler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's very true. And the bus would go, oh, I didn't know that. And I would go like, yeah. So Larry Flint is a very important civil rights leader because he took a bullet so that I could fuck white women.
That's a really good, that's good.
Right. And so I remember Harvey goes, oh my God. Oh, like, oh. And so I go, and so they don't want to laugh. They don't want to laugh.
That's funny.
But I'm in the room and I say that to everybody, and it's so far out of left field, and they've never heard the sound of my voice before. And so like, I remember, shout out to Nina Parker, who worked at TMZ with me, who's still a dear friend of mine to this day. Beautiful black woman. Nina's looking at me like, I know they didn't just bring one of these niggas into the newsroom. One of these goddamn Tiger Woodses. But that joke put me over in the newsroom.
Okay, yeah.
And he knew that it would.
Yeah, yeah.
And so after that, boom, they all left. Another thing I tell the kids, I don't want to be hyper verbose about the whole TMZ situation, but another thing I tell the kids is your ability to succeed at a place is not just about your talent, it's about your ability to recognize opportunity.
Yeah.
So the very first year I was there, I realized that everybody goes home for Christmas. So everybody takes off for Christmas. So if you watched the show, it's always a buzzing newsroom. Everybody is around. Everybody's doing all of this, but it's bare bones in there, like any point after Thanksgiving into the New Year, because everybody's rotating in and off vacation. But they're still doing a show. They still have to do a show.
Yeah.
They don't go dark for 2 weeks like everybody else. It's a daily show.
Yeah.
I did not go home. I stuck around. And when I stuck around, I got all of the time to talk and be on camera that I wanted to. So in that month, I endeared myself to the audience.
Nice.
Right after that, he comes in, he goes, we're going to give you a raise. We're going to do all of this. Next time, contract went up. And my stature at TMZ just went up to the point to where I think maybe a year, 2 years after that, I was a producer.
Oh, wow. So let's fast forward to the iconic moment.
Yeah, Kanye West.
The Kanye West.
Yeah. You like him.
I love Kanye. I love old Kanye.
Nah, you like him now. I can tell.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. So my favorite rapper is Jay-Z, and my little brother's favorite rapper is Kanye. But now Eagle acknowledges that Jay-Z is the ultimate GOAT. So, we have a great relationship. But Kanye, let me try this grilled cheese.
Go for it. Bless you. That's straight from Angola State Penitentiary right there.
Yeah, let's see. But Kanye, old Kanye was simply amazing to me. I loved how outspoken he was. I don't know what happened in the Kardashian era, like what kind of drugs they put him on or what went wrong. Because he was always pro from the Bush statement. Like, he was always that guy. So take us to that day. What's going on, like, from beginning to end?
So Harvey had gone to, that butter gonna burn. So Harvey had gone to, the week before then, Kanye had an album coming out. And this is after the Trump stuff, and he had, gone off at his show and all of that stuff. Harvey had gone out to Calabasas. And he was so giddy. He called me up to his office, and he goes, look at this. It's me hanging out with Kanye West. So I'm like, whatever.
You were like, whatever?
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, I don't give a fuck about that.
Okay.
I hate that type of shit.
Okay.
I tell you what I hate. Don't talk to me about who you was hanging out with. Ever.
Okay.
Like, if you go to a party, when you come back and talk to me about the party, talk to me about how the vibes were. Were the drinks good? Was the music good?
So if Jay-Z was in the room, you want to hear about the drink?
I don't give a fuck.
You want to be like, no,
I don't give a fuck if Jay-Z came to your party. I couldn't give a fuck. What do that?
Let me tell you.
So it's a good party.
You were my friend, that's the only thing you'd be hearing for a whole...
It's a good party because he was there. Shout out to him. It's a good party because he was there. I don't give
amazing
a fuck. Thank you. I don't care at all. Like, hey, man, the drinks was good. Man, the DJ was crazy. He played that old school Juvenile, all of that shit. Now I'm going to come to the party. If you start...
you tripping.
If
Jay show up to my party...
If Jay show up to your party, I guess it's a big deal for your party. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it doesn't make me want to attend your party because there are famous people there.
Of course, but I'm saying that, okay, so Harvey comes to you, he's like, yo, I was kicking it with Kanye.
Kanye.
That would be me. That would be me. I'll show up to you like, yo, look at these pictures.
This is all I heard. It's Kanye.
Okay.
And so he shows me the thing, and him and Kanye have some kind of rapport that they're working on or whatever. I don't know what's going on. And so a week after that, he I'm in the newsroom, and by the way, at this point I've been very outspoken on Kanye because this is Kanye posing with Donald Trump. This is post all of that stuff. So he comes up to me after the morning meeting. He goes, "Hey," I was like, "What?" And he goes, "We didn't want to tell you, but in about 10 minutes, Kanye West is about to show up here." I was like, "Inside of TMZ," and he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, just let you know, all the mics are going to be down because the way it works is for TMZ Live, which is the live show, show that comes in the middle of the day, you have a red button at your desk and a thing at your desk. Anytime you have that red button, you can talk. So after Harvey and Charles do their thing, you hit that red button, you can talk. So when I want to jump in and say something funny, I jump in and say something funny. When I want to jump in, when it's time for them to come to me, like Van talk, you can talk. But they had all the mics down because they just wanted this to be Harvey, Charles, and Kanye West. Okay, cool. So I go sit at shout out to Charlemagne because I go sit down at my desk and I start watching the interview that Charlemagne did with Kanye that dropped that very same day.
Okay.
When he was walking around Calabasas. So I started watching that. I'm at the desk. Kanye West comes in, very polite guy. Says hello to everyone, everything like that. They go over to TMZ Live. They start doing TMZ Live. As soon as the cameras come on, he turns into a fucking demon, right? Like when I tell you, when I'm like, I come alive in the nighttime type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Way.
Like, yeah, he's talking now. I mean, I'm not saying that he was being.
When you say demon, like the stuff he was saying. Was
yeah, I don't mean the demon. I'm not demonizing Kanye West.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, stream of consciousness, the whole thing. I'm like, oh shit. But I'm still not paying any attention. I'm not paying any attention. I'm looking at the interview. I'm not a part of this conversation.
So you're looking at the interview, but watching, kind of looking up or what?
Kind of, not really though. But remember, I've been told specifically that I'm not part of this conversation. So it's on them. Kanye says, Slavery 400. Oh, by the way, Candace Owens is with him.
Oh yeah.
She came to the office with him.
I don't know how you're not watching the interview and still looking at the Char interview while
I'm
both of them
looking
are there.
at the Charlemagne interview. They're walking around Calabasas, like you know, they Kanye got his hair. You know, they having all of these deep ass songs. I'm looking at, but I can hear him though because he starts to scream. He doesn't just want to talk to Harvey and Charles. He wants to talk to all of us. Room. Okay. Right? So I can hear him. I was like, God damn, this nigga, damn, that nigga on one. And so like I'm still looking at it, and he says, slavery, 400 years? 400 years, that seems like a choice to me. And everybody's like, oh! Audible gasp.
How did Candace's face look when he said that?
Couldn't see her. I don't know.
Okay.
I think she was in the other room because there's a side room.
How did those two cross paths? Damn.
A couple of weeks before that, or maybe like a month before that, Candace had gone viral for shutting down some students that had come to a Turning Point USA meeting where she had said, you're a victim and I don't like you and fuck civil rights or whatever. And whatever she said to them, and Kanye was like, this is the type of thinking that I like. And then Kanye put Candace Owens on.
Yeah.
By the way, this is if you really want to make a judgment call about Candace Owens, go to whoever you go to for wherever you want to go to, whatever. But he put her on basically, so she was with him for a little while. I think he got a lot of his early political when he was first in that new sort of right sphere of thought. I think he got a lot of that stuff from her. I think he probably still does to this day from a lot of those types of people. Anyhow, so he's talking. He says that I didn't say anything. When he said that, there's a misconception that he said that, and I was like, nah, I didn't say.
Did you do the Superman?
Yeah, people think it was like a big deal. I didn't say nothing, right? I didn't say anything at all. His business. He asked. Very simply. He said that. Everyone gasps. One other person had said one other thing about something that he had said, but most of the people in the room. Just sidebar real quick. You guys have no idea. I guess you actually probably do because Atlanta has per capita more famous people than anywhere else. You can't go to a fucking mall without, goddamn nigga, wasn't you in ATL? But like, but just fame just paralyzes people, particularly in LA. Like fame just like, oh my God, it doesn't matter what he would have said up there. He's saying stuff and people are like, Jesus Christ, this is the most famous person that's ever been inside this office before.
But I'm surprised because at TMZ, they cross paths with a lot.
Not nobody like that.
Okay.
Like it's like, especially to be in the office doing that. It's one thing to see people out on the street and but there's a specific TMZ celebrity that we talk to all the time, Nobody like that. Nope.
So take us back to that moment before you Superman.
So he says that, and he turns around and he says the whole thing, and he goes, does it feel like I'm speaking freely? He says that. He turns around and he goes, does it feel like I'm speaking freely? Okay, now let me tell you a split second just how my mind works. Like, for me, my insecurity is that I just can't be the nigga you could fuck over. I don't have to be the number one guy, but like I'll fight you until you realize you can't fuck over me. I'll play you in basketball till I realize I can't be the easy guy to get over on.
Okay.
So if you ask me something like that and I didn't say anything, there's toxicity in me that says I gotta answer this question.
Okay.
Like I can't have allowed him. Somebody might think that it's like, everybody was like, you were filled up with the ancestors. Nah, I didn't want to feel like a weakling.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss my opportunity to tell him how I feel like he was acting because then it feels like I'm the one that he could just kind of get off on. So he says that and I go, no, I don't feel like you're thinking anything. Like actually, you don't know. I remember I'm saying I'm not going to go back through the whole thing, but you look crazy right now. Like everything that you're doing, not just now, but every other time, like you look crazy. You're not thinking. And particularly this, it's not even about that. It's about what the regression or, how can I put this? Not regression. It's what a guy like that represents. Because we empower him. So imagine like spending your youth like arming somebody with this great big cultural gun. Everything that Kanye did. I was down in Louisiana when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. He was my guy. Like all the things that he would say when he would speak out, like you defend him, you advocate for him, you do it, you stand by him, the little cultural gun that he has, the little megaphone, it just gets bigger and bigger. The gun just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then one day you're staring down the barrel of it. Now the things that he's saying that you've empowered him to say are being turned right back at you.
Yeah.
And so like, it's like, hey, don't shoot me.
Yeah.
Like why are you shooting at me?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm the same dude. Like you Kanye West. I love you.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not about to diss him, never would. I said, yo, you're a genius. Everything that you've done is you deserve all the stuff that you've gotten. We love you, but let me tell you how you're making us feel. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to go toe to toe with like a cultural deity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to act like he hasn't inspired me in the ways that he's inspired me, or act like he hasn't done the things that he's done. Like we don't do that where I'm from. We give you your props, or else we would be haters. But I just have to let him know, like what you're doing right now is particularly pernicious to us because we're in a very specific place in this country.
Yeah.
And when you go back and you watch it, he listened. Now look, my thing is this. Any one person like that, there's no person that's like gonna be able to be a nigga whisperer and change what somebody thinks.
Of course.
Like there's a day-to-day experience that people have that has to do with their surroundings, who they are, their input and output that's going to affect how they look at the world. And you're not asking anybody to change that. But what I do think is important as black people is for us to be cognizant of how what we do affects other people. For example, I worked at TMZ for 9 years. I'm not in a moral position to chastise anyone. Like literally.
Yeah.
Like not in a figurative way. I'm not in a moral position to chastise anyone. I understand compromises that people have to make in order to get to where they want to get. I understand that sometimes people might walk into situations and not really know what it is that they're getting into. And then on the other side, you know better and you do better, right? So it's not about that. It's about just alerting someone when you feel like they're doing harm.
Yeah.
And then that's that. And then after that, after I've said my piece, you can choose. Either you can continue to harm me or you can be different.
So how did that milestone with Kanye change the trajectory of your life? Because it definitely had a huge impact.
So it was really the beginning of my career. And the reason why it was because, number one, I was never going to be able to leave TMZ with the reputation that they have there. And this is not shots at TMZ or anything like that. Once you leave a place that has such a distinct perch and culture, it's very difficult for people to believe certain things about you. And I think going over...
What do you mean? Like, what kind of culture? Like, what
Are
do
you
you
familiar
mean?
with TMZ?
I am familiar with them. I'm just saying describe it. I'm saying from the journalist perspective, you're saying like...
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I'll say. So look, there's a reason why like a TMZ exists. And honestly, the reason why TMZ exists is the need for people to feel good about themselves.
The reader or the watcher to feel good about
I'll
themselves.
tell you why. So the celebrity in America is overloved, way overloved, over important, over everything. It just doesn't matter that much that somebody is famous or rich.
Yeah.
It just really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably a net negative.
Yeah.
However, it's so precious to people that there's a need to feel that that person has done or is doing something wrong. Right?
Like to more humanize them.
Right. So like the question becomes this. It's like take Kim Kardashian, right? Everybody saw her fuck. Right? Everybody saw her fuck. She's sex tape out. Everybody saw it, right? Everybody watched the sex tape. That comes out and people get to make the decision about whether or not they would have that happen for them. Whether or not they would go through that in order to be Kim Kardashian. And it makes them feel good to say no. So it makes them feel good to say, you know what? I wouldn't want that life. It's too crazy. It makes them good to feel makes them feel good to say I wouldn't compromise myself in that way. It makes them feel good to say I would never do this. I would never be around these people. I would never do that. I would never do this. It makes them feel good to say Hollywood's too weird. I wouldn't do that, right? And TMZ feels that bloodlust that people have, and it lets them disconnect from the idea that these people are better than them. It lets them disconnect because every time somebody gets a DUI, and it goes up on the thing, every time somebody gets a divorce, everybody in here knows people that have been divorced.
Yeah.
There's no magic or sinister story to a divorce. Sometimes it don't work out. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But you want to believe certain people will never be happy because their lifestyles are antithetical to happiness in a relationship. So you want to believe
You
that.
use a lot of big words. Antithetical. What?
You want to believe that, right? You want to believe that. TMZ gives you that. In order to do that, TMZ has to treat those people like they're not people. They have to treat them as if they're concepts. Celebrity is not a person.
That's why I guess TMZ comes off a little bit invasive and ruthless, right?
Well, no, because
they're not treating they're treating them kind of like.
Well, you have to, right? Yeah. Like even the TMZ tour was a celebrity safari. Like what's on a safari?
Yeah, animals. Yeah,
animals, right? And so like when you like the tour is celebrity safari, it's animals, right?
Yeah.
And so you do that, right? And what you say is, okay, well, in order to be a celebrity, the game is PR at its base, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you sign up for.
Yeah.
Kinda, right? Because like there are certain things that you don't sign up for.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. There was the sister of a celebrity that had something done to them. I'll never forget. I'm not gonna talk about who I had the conversation with. I'm like, yo, we shouldn't do that. And they did the story. And this dude went on fucking and let us fucking have it. And I was like, yo, we had to take it down and apologize and do all that stuff. I'm like, yo, like, there's a limit to this. Now, that's not me making a moral judgment on TMZ.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the way things go.
Yeah.
So, like, when you know all of that, when you have an idea of what drives that, like, obviously there are moral, there are things that you have to not care about to work there. But most of the people there are good people.
Yeah.
They're just desensitized to whatever was going on there because that's where they work.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do. I'm there. It's the same thing. Things are coming in at a certain point. You go, God damn, you know. And there'll be little small things. This is a football player that had this video come out of some altercation it was in, and it said savage beating by this. And I was just looking at the headline. I'm like, I don't think we should say go savage beating there.
Yeah.
Like I think savage is that's like a interesting way. Or there's just little small things. The mayor of DC died. Marion Barry. Crack Mayor Marion Barry dies. Like he died, and like by the way, the people in DC are gonna freak the fuck out because I don't know if you guys know, but Marion Barry was with Martin Luther King Jr. Like where I'm from, like I deal with a group of people, a community of people that are always categorized by the worst moment that they have. And I don't feel comfortable with categorizing a man that means so much to his city by the worst, most scandalous thing he ever had. You can't talk about his life without talking about that.
Yeah.
But maybe in the headline you don't do that.
Yeah.
So all of those things start to happen. And so for me, what the place represents is not even so much a bunch of immoral people that are running around trying to get the dirt on celebrities. It represents our relationship to celebrity and our relationship to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking reason whatsoever why we should spend so much time talking about what happens in the lives of famous people. It just really, like at its core, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And even to this day on the podcast, I still do it. And the reason why I still do it, I don't get the stories, but you try to extrapolate larger conversations out of these things and talk about them with notable people. But really, it's just the need to talk about things that people care about. And for whatever reason, people care about celebrity and fame.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So going back to your story.
Yeah.
So you're at TMZ for 9 years, you said? And then what happens after that?
After that, I could.
What happened with your ending in TMZ?
I got fired.
For what?
An altercation inside the office with a white boy.
When you say altercation, no hands.
They say I use hands.
They say you used hands. Did you use hands?
Yeah. Not in any real way. I mean, look.
What do you mean not in a real way? Would you like that or like smack them?
No. I'm not going to smack nobody. See, I would never. This is the funny thing. That would never happen, right? That would never happen.
What do you mean that would never happen? You say a white boy, I'm like, maybe you went light on him. You smacked him.
This guy was my guy. Still is my guy.
Okay. He's Republican.
Whatever. Tell you what happened. I'm an emotional person.
Mm-hmm. I could kind of see that.
Very true. They wanted me to talk about. There's only one thing I don't want to talk about.
What?
Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
I just don't want to talk about it. Like even saying the name Hurricane Katrina, like right now, it makes me want to cry. I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't.
Okay.
It's very tough. Very hard. And there was this story that had gone on in the newsroom earlier where George Bush was being cool with like Ellen DeGeneres at some football game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it doesn't matter what you guys say about George Bush. I don't give a fuck that he paints. I don't give a fuck that Michelle Obama likes George Bush. Fuck George Bush forever. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck who's worse. Fuck him forever. Wheels in the water. He didn't care. Mm-hmm. That's the way it goes. Like, hey, we're gonna bring this back. You're so passionate about it, and I think I was like, guys, I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit!
I told you I don't want to talk about it. Guys, I don't want to talk about it.
Whenever someone does this,
like, no, I'm like, please. I'm like, please, I don't want to discuss it. I'm here. I do everything. I've been the funny nigga for a long time. I'm the Swiss Army knife of niggas. Mm-hmm. I'm the funny nigga. I'm the basketball nigga. I'm the look at that ass nigga. I'm like all. I've been this. I'm saying I don't want to talk about it. You gotta do it. Fan, we need you. Okay. So I get on there and I'm talking my whole thing, and this guy up there hosting the show, he's cutting me off. And he's speaking to me in a way that I don't like. Mm-hmm. Anytime you speak to me in a way that I don't like, we have a conversation about it.
Okay.
That's it. So this is legitimately how this happened. I challenge anyone to watch the video. Guy's up there, he's sitting down, he's doing the show. I know him. Mm-hmm. Now, I know him, like we're friends. Mm-hmm. We're friends now. He's up there and he's doing the show. He's done this already. And I don't want to yell at him across the newsroom, make a big scene. So I go up to him while he's sitting down, and I put my hands on his shoulders, and I you can see me on video, I'm whispering into his ear. Right?
Does he turn around and do the whole big scene?
Nah. Okay. He turns around and he moves his hand from off my shoulder, and I move it. Mm-hmm. And then I whisper into his ear and I say, and you can see me leaving. I pat him on the side, you can see me leaving, and I do like this, and I walk back. The last thing I said to him was not something that you should say to somebody in the office.
Tell me, what did you say?
He stood up, and I was like, whatever. I don't even want to.
I want to hear it.
The last thing that I said to him was something, and so when I said that, Charles said, "Van, go home."
What did you say?
I don't know. So the last thing was a threat.
Oh, it was like, I'm gonna knock you out?
No, it wasn't a...
It was a lights out.
No, the last thing was a threat. It wasn't a threat as in, I'm gonna do something to you. It was a threat as in, these are my limits.
Yeah, don't cross that line again.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's probably too far for Charles. Shout out to Charles. Charles goes, "Van, go home." That's the last time I was ever in TMZ.
Okay.
It was funny because when they called me, I knew they was gonna have to bench me for a little while, right?
For that?
Yeah, so listen, it's funny. So I'm on the thing and I'm like, I'm on the phone with the HR people, and they go, "Yeah, did you choke him?" And I went, "Wait, what?" And they were like, "Yeah, did you put your hands around his neck?" And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Guys, this is Van. Hey, it's me. Mm-hmm. Circus Bear."
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's Van. This is Van.
Yeah.
Think about what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Think about if you're asking me whether or not I choked Mike in like front of the whole newsroom. It's me.
Yeah.
I know you guys as children. I be around y'all. Like, it's Van. Hey, it's me.
Yeah.
No. Come back, the whole thing. I was like, "Oh, they about to do me," and they did. And it was like the funny thing about it was, so there's all this conversation. It's like stuff happens. I end up being terminated. Karen, my manager, like automatically has stuff. So we're taking all kinds of meetings. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Nobody guys is off me, right? We're doing the same stuff because literally my contract was up at TMZ in about 4 more weeks. And I had already told them I wasn't resigning.
Okay.
So if they thought they would have had me for a longer term, there's no way they would have fired me.
Okay.
Right. But it's like, whatever, this is a way to try to maybe save some money, get out from under it, it's cool. So it starts to get around the office that I'm not coming back. So my coworkers throw me a going away party.
Okay.
Including the guy that I supposedly choked, who comes to the going away party. And after that was on a Saturday. Pictures go up on Instagram. On Monday, Page 6 calls me.
It says what?
We heard that you got fired.
Okay.
We heard that you got fired. We heard that there was some kind of office altercation. We heard there was all of this stuff. And I'm like, fuck. Now I'm like, God damn. Now I'm the 6'4" scary nigga.
Are you 6'4"?
Don't play. And so now I'm like the 6 foot. I'm like, and they put up an article, and the article was like super. It went soft on me. Everybody loves Van and all of this stuff like that. TMZ got their asses kicked. Everybody was coming at them.
Nice.
Like everybody. And so then the next day, the office struck back. And this is one of the most important moments of my career. Yo, I talk a lot. I know sometimes it could be hard to follow me, but if you don't listen to anything else I say, listen to this. These people don't give a fuck about you. They don't. Tell you what we do as black people sometimes. What we do is like the record label becomes a crew and a family.
Yeah.
The production group becomes a crew and a family. We got a sign, we got a logo, we got all of this stuff. And boom, 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 and we cool. I know your kids, I know all of these people around you. We done talked. Like your dad has passed away. I done took you outside the office. We've talked about it. We've gone through all of this. You wouldn't do this to me. Not only will they're going to.
Yeah.
Like they're going to do it. They're going to do you. You're gonna get done. You will be done. If you are making the trek towards being somebody important or influential, somebody's going to do you. You will be done. So the question is for you is how are you going to respond to it? As much naive. This is coming from a man at that time who was 39 years old. I didn't think they would do me that way. And the reason why I didn't think they would do me that way is not because, it's because, yo, I know these people. It's to the point to me to where if I pick up your baby and hold your baby, I'm from Baton Rouge. If I pick up your baby, if I don't fuck with you, get that little nigga away from me. But if I pick up your baby and hold your baby and you're your wife and I've been to your crib and all of that stuff, I'm thinking that there's gonna be a point where somebody's gonna want to make me look in a certain way and somebody's gonna go, we can't do that to Van.
Yeah. But does it also make you wonder, like kind of going back to the Jesus days, like the whole Judas, like which one, like with that piece of advice or that statement, do you think that people should be also double looking over like which one in their crew is going to be the one that kisses them on the cheek?
No. You know what we forget about Judas?
What?
That he got paid. The money is the Judas.
I understand.
So hear me out.
So the root is always going to be the industry in of itself.
The root, what pulls you apart, what brings you together with these people is the commerce, and what pulls you apart is the commerce. Yeah, sure, they liked me, but I was good for business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they liked me. They definitely liked me. But I was funny, and I was smart, and I was devastatingly handsome, and I was all of those. They liked me, but I was good for business.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that I got away with there, I wouldn't have gotten away with if I wasn't good for business.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
But
they threw the mud back on you.
Right. So I was bad for business. And the moment that I became bad for business, we talked about this before, it was not a person anymore. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
So Judas, he did what he did. They paid him 30 pieces of silver. The thing is going to get you. Mm-hmm. So just be prepared for the thing.
Yeah.
The thing, when they no longer have to protect you, first of all, anybody who doesn't have to protect you won't. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And secondly, if you're a threat to the money, you're toast.
Yeah.
So at that point, everybody's making them look bad. They're like, they don't want to be embarrassed. People are asking if TMZ is racist. People are starting to say that TMZ fired Van because Van stood up to Kanye West. It's all of this stuff. If somebody would have got on the phone with me, I swear to God, if somebody would have called me and be like, Van, we're taking a beating. Is there something you can say? I'd have done them a solid. I'd have done them a solid. Because I had no fucking problem with being where I was. It was all cool. I had everything set up.
So, that was going to be my next question. So, what was your mindset at when all of this was going on?
I started having heart problems.
Well, I thought you just said that. What do you mean? Why were you having heart problems?
I was stressed out.
Okay.
When I say I started having heart problems, it's like there's something called preventricular contractions. It's like a skipping of the beat. Mm-hmm. Like I was so stressed that I was like to play basketball, very active. I was so stressed that my heart started missing timing. It was boom, 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 boom.
And you were stressed over what? Just the whole transition and where your next road was going?
Just the whole deal.
Okay.
Think about it, right? Like the whole deal. But here's the deal, though. I say all this to say this. Like, people look for God in like the sky, but sometimes God is on the ground too. Mm-hmm. He's like right where you're walking. I had to go through that. You know why?
Why?
Because I had put people through that. I had to go through that because I had written and hit publish on headlines that had made people feel that way. I had got on TV and talked about people in a way that made them go, shit, these people don't know me. I had been a part of stories that portray people in a light that's not quite accurate to who they actually are without me really knowing them. I had been a part of that. So
but you've been a part of it without the relationship. It's different, obviously, if you have the relationship and you're pushing the publish button. No?
It all feels the same.
Okay. Because
like for me, seeing me on page 6 and seeing me going through all of this stuff and me going, hey guys, you guys know me, this is not the thing, this is not the deal, seeing something out of context, played up, all the little micro feelings about black men are right there, which is a matter of time before Van snapped. It's just a matter of time before Van hurt somebody. It's just a matter of time before he showed us who he really is. Remember, when a white person does something wrong, it's somebody who did something wrong. Yeah. When a black person does something wrong, they're showing us who they really are the whole time. So so all of this stuff it's like I went through that and I was like, okay, cool, no more of that for me. I had to feel that. Like I'm not one of those persons. I always get caught when I do something wrong. It always comes back to me. He don't want me to escape without feeling it.
Yeah.
So it always comes back to me, and I could not leave there having done the Kanye thing and looked like some kind of big deal or whatever. I could not have left there without being on the other side of a headline. And so that's the way it went. Take the lesson, move on, continue to do dope shit, do as much as you can. But like it, and also, I had been to grilled cheese land already. If I had to go back there again, I could.
Now that you're older, I've been to the broke land, but I promise you I'm terrified of going back. But I meet so many people on this show that'll be like, I'll file bankruptcy, I'll go back again. I'm not worried about it. You're not at that phase where you really genuinely don't want to go back to it?
I can't go back now. I could, if I had to go back, it would happen, right? But I can't go back now.
Why do you say that?
We lost dad. So we lost dad in 2021 and it just changed. like it changed everything. Like when we lost him, when we lost the old man, it's like, I remember when I get the news, I go to Baton Rouge, and right away people start asking me stuff. And it really didn't matter. I'm not used to people asking me stuff like in a family way, and then my decision being what they do. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Bill, man. Like, you know, Bill goes, so the guy I work with at the Ringer, Bill, like hit Bill. I'm like, Bill goes, hey. He's like, Van. He's like, he's honest with me right there. He's like, Van, I'm telling you right now, when you go down there now, it's going to be different. Like, you're going to have to be the guy. And I'm not saying that I am the guy in my family. I'm just saying that, like.
But you're also the youngest, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm the youngest, but I'm also, I mean, in terms of this immediate family, I don't want to parse apart all my family dynamics, but like they rely on me.
Okay.
So so because of that now, it's not even, now the fucking roof got to get changed. Like stuff got to happen. Mm-hmm. And even if my dad was around and he couldn't do it, he had a way to get it done. Mm-hmm. He was a useful, resourceful, responsible old school man.
You say that, but going back to when your mom left, you were saying that like if the stove broke, you guys were like, well.
He wasn't that way with him, but he would be that way with you.
Oh, okay. So
if it's him, man, when I went to his crib, like after he had passed away, like I see y'all got the wires and all of this stuff, and you know, it's a production house. That's how it goes. So I go to this nigga shit, and I'm in there, and it's like, it's weird. Like death is so weird because you're gone, but everything else around you is like the same. So I go into his house, and the outdoor channel, like he hunting fish. So the outdoor channel is still on. Mm-hmm. Like it's still on. Like he's the only thing that's not alive in the room is him.
Okay.
Like the outdoor channel is still on. In the middle of the thing, his saddle is on the saddle horse that you put it on. In the room next to him, all of his hunting stuff is there. He has stuff laid out for the next time he's going hunting. His gun is taken apart. He was oiling it the night before he passed away. So like he wasn't expecting to die, right? And so I'm going there and I look and I see that he's running power out of one of the rooms into his bedroom. I'm like, this nigga is good for nigger rigging some shit. Why don't you just do whatever you got to do to have the people come out there and have the power? Now see if it would have been me doing that. If it had been me doing that, he'd say, boy, fix that. Mm-hmm. He's just used to dealing with a little bit less.
Okay. And
then kind of making sure that you don't. So for him to be like gone and for people to know that they can't just, because sometimes he didn't have it to give to you. He just had a strategy for you. Mm-hmm. And that's the craziest thing. When you need $150 for somebody and they ain't got nothing but advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like that's sometimes he didn't have it. Yeah. But like since then, like I could go back to grilled cheese. Mm-hmm. I can get used to anything, but we can't go back to grilled cheese.
Yeah, I get it.
Like we can't.
I get it.
It's like niggas, and that's funny and they know that because they don't even ask for the same amount of money before. Like if you got $1,000 in the bank account, people go, yo man, let me hold $100, bro. $100, man, I need that. But if you don't, the numbers get crazy.
What you mean?
Oh, bruh, the numbers get crazy. It's like, yo, I need $4,000. What the fuck you need $4,000? You ain't got a $4,000 life.
Yeah.
What the fuck you need $4,000 for? Man, I'm in the I need $4,000. All right, cool. You need $4,000. What? I don't know. Like, you know the whole thing. And I'm not, like, you hear other people talking about this, and they are actually really rich. Mm-hmm. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, and they hitting you for real. So when you come back, do you give them what your dad gives you?
Nah.
Let me tell you how to get this 4K.
Nah, I gotta help out. I like it.
You help out?
I gotta help out as much as I can. But see, this is the way I help out. I make you earn it in listening to me.
Oh God.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. One of those.
I make you earn it and listen
lecture.
to me. Yep. Gotta do it. I make you earn. Hey, now look, I'm gonna send this to you. But we gotta talk about how you living. We doing it.
That's messed up, man.
I'm not a fucking ATM.
You're hilarious.
So we at least gotta have a conversation about how we could be better.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I got rules to the game. If it's mom, it's just give me the bill direct.
Hold on,
we
wait.
all know.
That's all of this doesn't. This is not a mother grandmother thing.
Okay.
Mother and grandmother they don't even ask. They don't even ask. Like they really don't ask. It's like you'll come to their house, come to my mother and my grandmother's house, and they really doing the old small TV on top of the big Curtis Matthews. And I'm like, nah, man, we gotta go get this whole situation. So they don't even ask. Obviously, with your mom, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, with mine, I'm just like, I have to pay direct because it's never gonna get to whoever you owe.
Your mom not gonna pay the bill?
If my mom has $1,000 light bill, hence her $1,000 light bill, you see where we're going? Mm-hmm. She'll be like, you give her the money, she'll be like, I know that they'll keep the lights on if I just give them 10. You'd be like, just pay the bill. So I'll just be like, send me the bill direct.
This is why I love talking to people, and this is how I know you black. This is why I love talking to people, because I remember back in the day, I didn't even know you could do that.
I never knew you could do that until I discovered my mom can rack up bills extremely high.
My mom, one time my mom had told me to pay the light bill. She was like, tell him you'll come by there and you'll drop him off $70. I'm like, drop him off $70? She said, yeah, tell him you drop him off $70. I was like, you can drop him off $70? And she was like, yeah. They want you to pay something. You drop them off the $70, and then you come back a little bit later. I remember there's just so many stories. Mom sprayed mace at the feet of the light bill guy, so he couldn't come cut the lights off. She maced him. She maced the light bill guy.
No way.
Swear. Light bill guy maced him and then told him that the house was covered in the blood of Jesus, and that if he came in there, his blessings was going to be cut because she was trying to turn the lights off on her kids. Maced him, and then was like, I'm letting you know, this house is covered by the blood of Jesus. You come in here. This is crazy shit. So she had force. She had the Bible. She had all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so all of that stuff now is just like, now you're blessed, you're walking in abundance, and you're trying your best to be available to the people that you care about. Yeah. I care about all of black people. That's why I care about you. That's why you have to be investigated by the BBI.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure.
I don't even understand the point of the investigation, but okay.
The point of the investigation for you?
Yeah.
The point so what we do at the Biracial Bureau of Investigation is we make sure that we identify the problematic biracials that exist amongst us.
What do you mean the problematic? You mean the ones that don't claim they're black? Yeah. I knew that's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew. I'm not one of those. I passed the test. Me acknowledging my nationality does not negate whether I'm black, whether I'm not acknowledging I'm black.
I'll say right now. Your prospects are good.
My prospects are hella good.
But we're gonna have to go deep. We're gonna have to
look
go
after
deep.
you read Born a Crime. We could talk, but we're not gonna do this.
Trevor.
Yeah, okay.
I'll read Trevor's book. I'll actually add his book to the curriculum of the BBI.
One of my favorite books. Ryan, it's one of your favorite books.
Ryan, you fuck with that? Ryan, you biracial?
You are?
Not black.
What are you?
Vietnamese. Oh, so one Vietnamese parent, one white parent?
Okay.
There you go. That counts, but I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. He said biracial. I was like, wait, he got black in him? Hold up. He do that kind of brotherish though.
Yeah, I see him right there.
The second he said biracial, I said shit. Well, maybe. You know?
Never know.
You never know. But no, you should check out the Trevor Noah book. I promise you, it's a great read. You'll probably end your BBI commission after that.
No.
I know what you mean though, because I've met people that are like, they won't exactly acknowledge the black if they're half, but I acknowledge it, but I also acknowledge the other side.
It's more of a bit than it is anything else, but I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Have fun with it.
Definitely.
Have fun with it. Is there any way people could keep up with you now, Mr. Success Story?
Still grinding. Higher Learning Podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network with my fantastic co-host Rachel Lindsay. Mm-hmm. Fantastic co-host Rachel Lindsay. The Midnight Boys Pew Pew podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network, the Ringerverse. You see me on CNN. The movie company is doing well. life is moving in a positive direction. I'm not where I want to go, but I'm on my way.
I do want to touch on the Academy Award winning. Like, can we backtrack to that? That was before you were. That was after you were fired.
Yep.
So
I wouldn't have been able to do it if I'd still been at Team Z.
Okay. Did you know you were going to work on that project when you were getting fired, or did it just come up?
No, it came after. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It was around the George Floyd or. Okay. Yeah. During the COVID.
During COVID.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Idea, money, execution. You never know what's going to happen.
How do you feel about, with everything that happened during COVID, how these brands are now supporting Black business? Like, how do you feel about it?
What do you mean? How they're supporting it? I don't think they are.
Well, there was a period during the whole Black Lives Matter. To me, it feels like the world had to come to an end. Like, literally, sports had to end. The whole world had to stop for everyone to say what is happening to Blacks is really bad. It literally took, I think if sports was running at the same time, it'd be like any other year. But what I did notice, like, there was a lot of, like, I know a lot of brands that got distribution because they were Black owned, or if you had a Black in the title of anything that you were doing around that time, you were getting distribution, you were getting sales from white, white ran companies.
Yeah. So it was interesting. There was an opportunity there that was missed. It was missed for a myriad reasons. America's inability to reconcile its relationship with Black Americans will be the thing that destroys America. Because if you cannot reconcile, in reconciling America's relationship historically and contemporarily with Black people, you actually address many different American problems. You address American inequity. You address capitalism. You address so many of the different problems that exist for Americans across the lower class spectrum, right? But you can't really do it because, number one, there is a way that things are supposed to go in the country. And there's a fixed middle to lower class in the country. And the threat of those people becoming anything other than that threatens the way things are supposed to go. With Black people specifically, it's this simple. And I know this sounds very unintellectual. America just don't want niggas to have shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. And here's the example to that. Real quick, I'm not going to go on and on like I do. Everything that America has told Black people to do to get ahead in America, Black people have done. Black people bought land. We own more land in 1905 than we own now. Bought land. Top 4 white land owners in all of America own more land than all of Black America combined, right? We own land, they took the land. They took the land through terrorism, they took the land through contract buying. We started thriving communities everywhere. They just said no. We tried to buy houses, they said no. We tried, whatever we did, they just colluded to take it away. It, like, people talk about Greenwood. I know, Tulsa is the one that sticks out in people's minds. What destroyed Tulsa was not the riot. It's not what destroyed Tulsa. Tulsa was known as Black Wall Street after the riot. They rebuilt. They had enough money to do that. You know what destroyed Tulsa?
What?
Urban renewal. Urban renewal, which was a plan to take areas of inner city America, or places that were deemed inner city or low income, and run fucking freeways through them. Tulsa got fucked over because they ran a fucking freeway through it. They couldn't take the people's land any other way.
Yeah.
So they used urban renewal, eminent domain, all different types of things like that to dispossess these people of what they had built and of their communities, right?
Yeah.
And so all of that stuff is to say that racism and the idea that Black people are supposed to be lesser than is so deeply entrenched in the American psyche that if it's not dealt with, and if it's not, if we don't come to terms with it, then America can't exist in any real functional way. And it's only so long, right? We think that it can. We think that it could just be like this forever. It can't. because you start turning a blind eye to the middle class, then you erode your ability to be a stable community, right? Income inequality, a stable society, income inequality goes crazy. All of those things happen because there are huge chunks of the American electorate that people just are okay with saying they don't matter. George Floyd gets killed in front of everybody, and then people go, okay, well, maybe we should do more for black people. Mm-hmm. Did they let us tell them the way they should do more?
No, they didn't.
Right. They donated to 3 or 4 places, made those places rich.
Yeah.
And then heaped the entire reputation on Black America on what those people did with the money.
Yeah.
So, like, what I'm saying is right now, it's people with answers to these questions, but the questions would have to be asked seriously, and they never will. They don't want you to have nothing. They brought you over here as a slave. And in order to make it make sense to them and to trick themselves into believing, they have to trick themselves into believing you were subhuman. And after 3 generations, they really believe it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when you're first kidnapping someone and you see a mother being separated from a child, you might feel something inside you that says that's wrong.
Yeah.
But see, about like 100 years after that, that's gone. Because you have now like purposefully endeavored into a psychosis that makes the way this country runs, you have to like approach that as if it's true. Yeah. And that's where we are. And so the only thing that for us to do is to disassociate with that and do what 85 South and so many other people are doing here, which is collectivize, do it for yourself, like depend on yourself and have solidarity with yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese too.
Grilled cheese too. Look at that grilled cheese.
You like it?
It's good. It's good. Eat your grilled cheese. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and I'll catch up with you when we're in LA.
Yeah, catch up. We'll have our eye on you.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
gonna see what your reading history's looking like. Hey, what up, Jay? What's up? All right. It's a wrap.